The Wheel of Time, the video game, based on an amazing series of books written by Robert Jordan. If you're a fan of the series, you've probably heard of this game. But if you're like me, then you've never played it before. So, let's go check it out.
What was, what will be, and what is, may yet fall under the shadow.
The game starts by introducing us to the main character, Elena Sedai, who is an Aes Sedai, and if you are confused, she is basically a wizard, and rather than calling it magic, they call it channeling. It's more complicated than that, but you have the gist.
Elena is Aes Sedai, but she can't channel the one power more than a trickle.
What? How can she be an Aes Sedai if she can't channel? That's like if you were a wizard except you couldn't do any magic. Nobody would call you a wizard. Instead, they chose to have our character use Ter'Angreal, which gives the user the ability to do a very specific magical effect. Which honestly is just a really dumb design choice. I would much rather have actual powers. At the end of the video, I'll discuss how this totally butchers the Wheel of Time lore. Alright, let's continue with the story.
The keeper of the chronicles of the White Tower.
Hold up a second, so the lady who has no powers, and shouldn't even be an Aes Sedai, holds possibly the second most powerful position among Aes Sedai? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Alright, continue on. Well, everything seems peaceful so far. Holy crap!
Where are the seals?
Apparently, an assassin has entered the White Tower, the Aes Sedai stronghold, in search of one of the seals to the Dark One's prison. In his attempt, he managed to kill 14 Aes Sedai, as well as steal all of Elena's Ter'Angreal, which means he must be brought to justice. And the obvious choice to go after him is, of course, Elena Sedai herself, the only person who can't do anything, and was immediately overpowered by that guy a second ago.
You're the witch who can't channel, right?
In our pursuit of the assassin, we arrive at Shadar Logath, a place so evil that even the fog will kill you. Also, for some reason there are demon monkeys here too. That was not in the books. Holy crap, what is that thing? Oh god, it's hideous. At last we have caught the assassin, who tells us that the Forsaken Ishamael is free and is attempting to release the Dark One from his prison.
Not the Forsaken. He's just a children's tale.
Seriously? Elena is an Aes Sedai whose job it is to keep track of all the secret knowledge within the White Tower, and she thinks the most notorious bad guy of her time is a fairy tale? Even dumb farm boys know this guy existed.
He's a fairy tale.
Tell me that you'll spare my life, and I'll show you where the Ter'Angreal are. Otherwise, we'll be sitting here a long time.
If you don't walk out of this city, it will not be of my doing.
I thought our goal was to get this guy. Why are we striking deals with him?
More gold than I've ever seen.
Well, I guess that takes care of that. Alright, we've got our stolen stuff back and the assassin is dead. It's time to head back to the White Tower. Upon returning to the White Tower, we discover it is being raided by Shadow Spawn, and it is up to us to stop it. Because honestly, everybody else in this game is totally useless.
Do not worry, Aes Sedai, I will save you.
Shadow.
Seriously, Aes Sedai who are supposed to be able to burn a Trolloc to a cinder, and their warders who are supposed to be legendary swordsmen who trained their entire lives to fight Shadow Spawn can't stand up against one Trolloc. I mean, I guess it's because we're supposed to feel like the hero, but honestly, I just feel like none of this makes any sense. We should have been dead in the first 2 minutes of the game. So we've been given complete control over the defenses of the White Tower, which sounds like some serious oversight to me, but what do I know?
What are you doing in the Amerlin's chamber? Why are you holding one of the tower's seals?
We know that this lady is evil because she is showing off way too much bosom. Our ultimate goal is to shut the front gates, which will somehow immediately win us the battle. I'm not sure how that makes any sense since the White Tower is still filled with Shadow Spawn and people who have no idea how to use a sword. But hey, nothing's made sense yet, so why start now? And the gates are shut, and just as foretold, the tower is saved. You're going to hide the seal in there? Sliding a book in front of that obvious hole in the wall does not suddenly make it invisible. I mean, it's not like the bad guys already found it earlier when there was a bookshelf there. But yeah, no, just a book. That sounds good.
As soon as Ishmael started giving us orders, everything went wrong.
Are these the bad guys? Are they shouting about how they are bad guys where everybody can hear? How has no one caught these people yet? So as it turns out, the Aes Sedai leader, the Amerlin, is hidden somewhere within the White Tower, and we need to find her. This was easily the best level in the game. You have to traverse through the underbelly of the White Tower, avoiding traps and solving puzzles. It was a chance to just relax and explore, which the rest of the game sorely lacks. Alright, we've made it through to the end.
Elena.
What the hell? Oh crap! I did not expect that. That is right, we are now fighting against ourselves, who is armed with everything that we have. This fight was easily the hardest in the game and it required a lot of luck and timing in order to finally succeed. Because everything that you can do, she can also do. And probably better. At last, she's finally dead. But where do I go? There's no door. There's nothing here. What do you do? The only thing here is this mirror. Is the mirror important? Oh. Okay. Oh hey, we found the Amerlin.
I could trust no one inside the tower for fear of the Black Aja. But I needed allies. I found you, child. Fairly glowing with the One Power. I had you channel through this. It shields the user from the One Power. The shield allows you to sense the true source, to touch it, but to draw no more than a tiny fraction of your potential.
Wait, what? Elena is actually supposed to be the most powerful Aes Sedai, but she isn't because this lady cut her off from the source? Why?
Had I brought you here with such power, the Black Aja would have recruited or destroyed you.
That is the most Aes Sedai thing I have ever heard. I take it all back. The writers of this game, the geniuses, they knew exactly how to make this character seem like such a good person when in fact, she's just a dick. Oh snap, it's Bosom Lady again. How did you even find this place? I had to go through a mirror. Also, didn't we watch this guy die? Despite having single-handedly saved the city from an entire army and defeating this guy previously, he just slaps us to the ground with zero resistance.
See what the Dark One has given me.
Oh my god, that is a horrible way to die. Well, now that the Aes Sedai leader has been killed, this one random lady decided I am the new Amerlin. Which is not how it works, by the way.
Do you have any more excuses, or will you accept your responsibility?
We may have saved the city, but now the whole world is at stake. The assassin and Bosom Lady have stolen one of the seals needed to open the Dark One's prison. Which means we have to go after them. And the quickest way to follow them is through the Ways, a dangerous place filled with traps, endless falls, and a horrible soul-eating monster. That distant breeze sounds pleasant. Wait a second. There's no wind in the Ways. Well, I'm glad we're out of there. We have left the Ways just outside of a White Cloak fortress, which are religious zealots that hate anything to do with Aes Sedai. And not only that, but they've captured some of our friends. Which means we can kill them without feeling bad about it. Oh, thank goodness, a sewer level, because I was just thinking what this game really needs is us jumping down a dirty toilet. Hold up a second, what's that over there? It's a picture of Abraham Lincoln in the White Cloak Fortress. Was Abraham Lincoln a White Cloak? Also, the White Cloaks hate everything to do with Aes Sedai, but this guy is willing to use Ter'Angreal? I am sorry, but I am having a hard time following the logic here. After the run-in with the White Cloaks, we head to the Fortress of the Forsaken in order to save our friends. Because the only person who could save a bunch of super-powered women from the most powerful person alive is someone with no powers. We have saved our friends. Now all there is to do is save the world from the Dark One. Well, that plan ended quickly.
What is this weapon that you've brought to me, girl? What happened? I've been shielded!
You ancient fool!
Ishmael is supposed to be one of the most knowledgeable and most powerful persons alive, and yet he was just tricked into shielding himself off from channeling? I take it back, the writers are morons. Also, for some reason, Ishmael is not able to fight without his ability to channel, despite being noted as a skilled fighter in the books.
I'm carrying one seal and I have one other hidden, but I'll soon collect the remaining two. You can't stop me, so don't try. I will destroy you.
Really? You're not gonna kill us? That doesn't really make any sense. Seriously, there are so many points in this game where we should have died, it's unbelievable. This next part involves using devices known as portal stones, allowing us to travel across the world. But instead, we just travel to areas we have already visited, such as the White Cloak Castle and the Fortress of the Forsaken. It is an interesting idea, except the stones require channeling in order to use them, so I have no idea how this is working. It's not like we have a Ter'Angreal in our hand that lets us use it. Nope, instead we have complete knowledge and ability to use these things. There's one of the seals.
You dare attack me?
Did I just kill Ishamael? That conflicts with the books. Alright, we finally have the 4 seals, now we can go do whatever it is we said we needed to do with them. When does this end? Oh hey, it's this guy again.
Out of my way, Hound.
What are you doing?
Something I should have done long ago.
No! Wait! You can't do this! You'll lose the artifact, too!
I know.
Wait, hold up a second. She just intentionally killed this guy. The writers were smart enough to be aware that she is bound by a magic oath that prevents her from killing people unless she feels she will die otherwise, and yet stupid enough to think that dropping him into lava doesn't count as killing him. Since she did somehow kill him, couldn't she have zapped him right there and taken the horn without dropping him into a pit of lava? Then he would be dead, and she would regain the ability to channel. Who thought this made any sense? Also, we just killed like hundreds of White Cloaks with no repercussions. And so, Elena sealed away the Dark One for good, and also somehow killed Ishamael. And did this all without channeling, which makes 0 sense, but I suppose it doesn't matter because nothing in this game makes any sense. Well, we sealed away the Dark One and saved the day somehow. I don't really understand it, but that's what we did. You know, there were some serious plot holes in this game. I might have given them a pass, but since it came out a year after the 8th book in the series, they really had no excuse. I wish the writers had just taken a bit more time to understand the lore of the Wheel of Time. Using Ter'Angreal as a weapon is an interesting idea, but it just doesn't make sense since Ter'Angreal do not have limited uses and they're not spread out everywhere. And not only that, but anyone who can't channel shouldn't even be able to use these Ter'Angreal. Sure, a select few of them don't need channeling, but that's such a tiny percentage. So not only should Elena not be able to use these Ter'Angreal, but she shouldn't even be an Aes Sedai. I mean, the #1 rule to becoming an Aes Sedai is to be able to channel. And there's no Aes Sedai in history who would have let her become one. The devs could have just as easily made her someone who could actually channel, and it would have had almost no difference on the game whatsoever. They could have even given her an exhaustion bar, since that's pretty much how it works in the books. But nope. That would be too absurd. I could go on for hours about all the things in this game that butchered the continuity, but I'm not gonna. Instead, I'm gonna recommend you pick up a copy of The Eye of the World, the first book in the series, if you aren't already a fan, because trust me, you won't be disappointed. The audio version is pretty good as well, and with a Wheel of Time TV show in production, now is a pretty good time to become a fan. If you are a fan of the series and haven't played this game though, I do recommend checking it out because honestly, there are some interesting things going on here, and gameplay-wise, it's not that bad. Now before I go, I also wanted to mention that the channel has recently reached 1,000 subscribers, so I wanted to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to me and enjoys the videos I create. You guys make it all worth it. It was a long journey to get to this point, but I have a feeling that the road to the next 1,000 will be much shorter. And if you're listening to this and you are not subscribed, make sure to hit that button, and I will see you guys in the next video.
The right to strengthen the seals can only occur at Shale Ghul, that being the actual location of the Dark One's prison.
Oh god, the amount of incorrect references in this game is painful.